Welcome to the Evolving Women podcast, where growth, healing, and empowerment aren't just ideas, they're a way of being. I'm Teresa Lysam, and in each episode, I'm joined by an extraordinary woman, one who is boldly shining her light in the world, one who is bringing her real life experience to each and every episode. And you'll be meeting my guest co host for today here shortly. She brings her heart centered wisdom and her powerful story to remind us all that we are not alone on this journey. This space is your permission to evolve, to expand, and to fully embody your most radiant, authentic self. So let's evolve together. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Evolving Women. I'm Teresa Lysam, and I'm here today with an amazing woman and my guest co host, Grace Strachan. Thanks so much for being here, Grace.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Teresa. I
Oh,
feel
my
privileged.
pleasure. I so admire Grace and the work that she's doing out there in the world, and she's going to share a little bit about that with us here today. But we've had some previous discussions. I love that I'm connected with you, Grace. It's just an honor to be considered your friend. But we're going to go and get started with your title. You call yourself the Gratitude Whisperer. That in
Yes.
itself is really awesome. Gratitude is such a huge topic, and I know we're going to dig into it here. But how did you become the Gratitude Whisperer?
Well, I actually acquired this name. Somebody actually called me the Gratitude Whisperer, or you're just the Gratitude Whisperer, and that was about 3 years ago. And I said, "Thank you.
Oh,
I'm going
yeah.
to now live that." No,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
always kind of lived it, but I thought it was very much appreciated being called that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been kind of known as the person of gratitude for a very long time.
Mm. So that sounds like it's been something that has permeated your life for a long time.
Well, actually, it's funny, it actually started in my childhood.
Okay.
My mother um, kept the very first card she ever got, and she
Mm.
really believed that we needed to say thank you and show appreciation. And as a child, she'd be there while we were writing out our thank you cards. And one time I said to her about so much work doing this, and she said, "Well, you know what?" She said, "When you receive something from someone, you need to write a thank you card, because if
Mhm.
you don't, they don't know you got it.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't know that you appreciated it. And if you don't, you really should have to give it back." And I
Mm.
was like, "Whoa, like, no way.
As a,
I'm
as a
giving
kid, you
anything
don't want
back."
to hear that.
Yeah.
Like,
So I mean, it was
no.
it was a very smart thing for my mother to do, because she taught us very young to show gratitude. And I think also my grandmother and my mother both, um, being polite. Etiquette
Hmm.
was very, very important in our house. And, the old saying, I know people think it's terrible now, children should be seen and not heard.
Hmm.
Um, I was brought up with that, but to a point of goodness. And
Mm.
that was, if you walked into the room of adults, you didn't burst into the room, but you stood there and said, "Excuse me," before you made a comment. And that was the way we were brought up, with, being seen and not heard. But really what it was being polite,
Mm.
and not, just kind of, like some children are like banjies, they, all over the place. And
Oh,
we were
yeah.
just not taught to do that.
I mean,
And
it's,
so I think gratitude was something I just grew up with.
I love that. And it seems like a simple or simplistic concept of being polite, being kind, being respectful. Like you said, as a child, to stand there and wait until you're invited to speak, that takes a lot of self-control, I'm sure at the beginning, and then you get used to it. But it's like I said, it's something that is so simple to do and easy to do once you create the habit. but I am connected with people in my family that are not as easy as giving of that is I wish they would.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm
But
like,
it's a
you can't,
habit. Like you said, it is a
yeah, it
habit.
is a habit.
Yeah. And we all know that, it takes 21 days to make or break a good or bad habit. And I think, because it was consistent in my life, it's not something I even think of. I mean, just a week ago, probably got one of the loveliest compliments, and he didn't even know he gave it to me. I was in a coffee
Hmm.
shop, just having a one-on-one with a new person that I met, and he's stirring something, and he goes like this, and I pushed my napkin over it, and he put the stir stick down, and he looked at me and he said, that comes from your upbringing, that
Mm,
only a person that lives in gratitude would ever
mm,
think of just automatically doing that. And he said there was
mm.
no thought there.
Right, right. It's like a muscle memory type of a thing.
Yeah, yeah,
You, like you
yeah,
said, it takes some effort at the beginning,
yeah.
but then after that, it's just an automatically done thing, like holding the door open for somebody,
Yes, yes,
or, I mean, again, just simple acts of kindness can mean so much to somebody who's having a
yes,
terrible day or
right.
who, is suffering through a trauma, some grief, and you just smiled at them and just went about your business, not knowing how it affected them. And it could have turned their entire day around, their week around, whatever, their life around. I'm
That's
sure we've all
correct.
heard stories of that.
That's right.
Where
And we all
one,
have a choice.
yes, in every moment, in
Exactly.
every single moment. But I love
Exactly.
that your mom taught you that early because we're in a different world now,
Mhm. Oh
and
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that sounds really old school, but again, it's simple, it's easy, it's respectful to other people, and it's only going to make you look good for doing that. As you just slid your napkin over, it was nothing you thought about. You weren't looking for anything in return.
No.
You were just being considerate. And yeah, and I know, and I'd like you to share your story that you just shared with me before we started this episode about you being with the kids because your mom set the example. I like to think I set a good example for my kids. Even
Yeah.
as adults, I get thank you notes from my kids. It's a beautiful, and some of them
Love it.
make me cry, like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it.
And I just want to
Yeah.
take in that energy. And I'm so grateful for them still continuing that. And that has been passed on to my grandkids. So how do you, when you're with young kids and they don't have that as an example in their life, like how do you kind of get the ball rolling for them?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that the beauty of children is they don't have any of those bad habits. We teach them the bad
Hmm.
habits. So they're like a vessel. They're like
Yes.
open to
Yeah.
everything and anything. And one thing that I really believe in instilling in children is we have this kind of negative on karma. You know, karma karma is going to out to get you. Well, you know what? There's good karma and there's bad karma.
I love
And
that.
what you give out comes back. So if you give out bad, it comes back bad. If you give out good, it comes back good. And I think one of the things that I love teaching children is that there's two kinds of karma. So remember that. Always remember that if you and one of my favorite sayings in life is if you give to give, it comes back tenfold.
Hmm.
If you give to get with some kind of an ulterior motive of you're going to get something, guess what? Whatever your belief system is, the universe, God, whatever, if you give to get, it gets taken away.
Hmm. And that's easy to try on for yourself. Anybody who's
Exactly,
listening to this.
exactly. And if you teach a child to go out and just smile at another child
Hmm.
and watch what happens, that's giving to give.
Hmm.
And when the simple things like this we discussed this earlier. I've been going into schools and teaching gratitude. Part of it has been I was asked to come in as a career day. Well, what I do with my job is I teach gratitude. So I get to be paid to be nice to people and teach other people to be nice to people. What a
Mm-hmm.
concept.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
teaching a child that is very, you have to be very careful because they're not going to get it. So I start with the simplicity of getting a birthday card because everybody loves their birthday. We forget that. Most people don't send birthday cards anymore. I would like to change that if I had my way, but that's another story. But most children get birthday cards.
Yeah.
So I'll say to them, well, what I do for a living, I'm going to ask you a question first. And I'll say, did you get a birthday card? Yes, 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 yes. You know, some of them didn't. That's okay. Did you get a gift? Yes, yes, yes. Did you get money in the card? Yes, yes, yes. And then I say, okay, now stop for a second. I want you to think. Did you say thank you for receiving that card? Now, if they just got a card, 90% of them have not said thank you for the card.
Mm-hmm.
If they got a gift or if they got money, almost 100% have said thank you.
Mm,
So
that's great.
that's telling me that we're doing right by our children.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So then I say to them, well, what I do for a living. No, then no, sorry, I forgot. Then I say, how did you feel when you got the card? They go on and on about how excited they were, whatever. And I say, okay, now what I do is I go into businesses and I teach those businesses to treat their clients and their customers the same way by sending them a card and making them feel as special as you did when you got your birthday card. And it's like, they get it.
Love that.
And then they say, oh, how do you do that? And then they, of course, and then they want to take all my cards that I've got displayed.
I was going to ask how you show that and what kind of questions they ask. Because, kids
They
can ask the
actually,
most fun questions.
the schools are so phenomenal. These were grade 3, 4, and 5s. Now, these were thank you cards I got after. They weren't told to do this. There was a table they could go and do whatever, write the thank you card. And
Mm-hmm.
these are all the thank you cards. I can't take them down. I
Right.
mean, my heart is so full every time I
Yeah.
see this.
Yeah.
And then I was just telling you, I did some grade 7 and 8, which were older, and I was a little leery about them because they're more set in their ways. They're not the vessel, the filling of the vessel.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and I just literally look at this. These were
Yeah.
thank yous
Love
they
that.
wrote for
I
the grade
love
7 and
that.
8s. So now I'm trying to figure out how to display these. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
because my heart is so full when I see these.
Heck yeah.
I
Even
mean,
if even if it was one thank you
oh,
card, that would be,
exactly.
whew.
Well, you would die if you saw my living room. I mean, my birthday was in June, and my birthday cards are still up.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, I just can't take them down because
yeah.
I walk
It's
in and I've had probably four different. I'm doing some construction at home, and I've had four different salespeople in my home, and every one of them has said, "Can I ask you what are all these cards for?" I had one guy say to me, I know you said you were a widow. Did your husband just pass? 8 years ago. No, there aren't the cards from 8 years ago. I know he
but
got a good kick out of that.
yeah, that I love that. And I know you said your mom kept all of her cards.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I have a habit of doing that too. Not all of them, but some of them that are really
Well, let me
meaningful.
tell you the lesson I learned. Okay. My sister-in-law, when my mom passed away, my dad asked my sister-in-law to help clean out the room. It was very
Yeah,
hard on
yeah.
him. And that's how I found out she'd ever had every card that she ever got.
Mm.
And my sister-in-law said to me, she said, Grace, I just lived your life. And I went, what? And she said, she kept every card. So she said, did you ever miss a card? Oh, heck no. I mean, my mom loved getting cards. So she got, birthday, anniversary, Mother's Day, Christmas. And if she was sick, I would go and buy her, I'd go and get her get well cards, whatever. And now I'm going to tell you, my mom passed away before I started doing anything with prompted send out cards. So I was
Mm.
buying these cards. But what I wrote in them, and sometimes they would be sloppy cards, kind of, I don't know, whatever. And then they'd be funny card, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And she said, I literally lived your life. I
Oh,
saw what you were going through in your life by the card you sent your mom.
oh man.
So let me tell you the lesson I learned. Now I write cards on the computer. And I send a lot of cards. But one thing I realized when she told me that was that where you're at in your life comes out in your card.
Hmm.
Because guess
Hmm.
what? There was reasons why I said that soppy card at Mother's Day. And the
Hmm.
next year it was a happy card. And the next year it was a love, love, love card. I mean, whatever was going on in my life came out in the card I sent her.
Wow.
Okay. Now I never realized that until she told me.
Yeah,
So now
really.
when I'm sending a card, I will not send the card. I will stop,
Hmm.
bring myself above the line
Mm-hmm.
before I
Mm-hmm.
send it, because I
Really.
realize that whatever you do comes out in you.
Mm. I love
So
that.
I'm not going to send a card when I'm in a bad mood, or when I'm angry, or when
Mm-hmm.
I'm hurt, or when that emotion is down below the line. I'm not going to send that card,
Mm-hmm.
because no matter what I say, it could come out in my wording.
And that's a good thing to realize and think about. Sending a text,
Yeah,
sending an email,
exactly.
posting something, like
Yep.
all of that comes out. Your
Yes.
energetic self comes out in all
Yeah.
of those. And we just do so many of those unthinkingly,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know?
It's all energy. The whole, everything,
Mm-hmm.
we are energy. Everything is energy. So if you're on a positive and you're on a high energy, it's going to come. But boy, if you're on a negative, low energy, it's out there as well.
Yeah, I love
And I
that.
just heard something this morning that this is just like, talk about it. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are.
Yes. Yes. I've been hearing a lot of those messages lately. Whew, that's
Yes.
huge. And not
It's
everybody's going to
huge.
understand that, but that's okay. The
Yeah.
more you hear it, the
The
more it will
more, yeah,
seep in
yeah,
and you will start to have a clearer understanding of it. But yeah, the energy piece is huge. And I so appreciate you bringing that up
yeah,
because, like I said, that's been in my awareness quite a lot lately.
yeah,
And thank you for sharing that lesson. But I want to just kind of go back to my mom. My mom was going through some dementia. She was in an assisted living, and we had a relative on the other side of the country who sent her cards every single week or two. And they were
oh,
these really cool pop-up ones, so you'd open them, they'd
yeah,
all pop up, so they were not just dollar
yeah,
store cards.
right.
And when my mom passed, like she just had a stack of them. And we
Mhm.
like was didn't want to let go of them. So we kind of
No,
divvied them up between the family. But
love
they
it.
were beautiful cards. And when I talked to my cousin about, she's the one who sent it, she was like, "Oh, I just love sending them." And I said, "Well, you had a really big impact. You might not have known it, but you did." And so many people got such joy from them. I gave them, some of them to the other residents and the employees. And
Yeah,
we just shared them around. And
I love
so
it.
that one card or a stack of cards could mean a lot. Like you said, like the people that have come into your house saw your cards and brought them some momentary joy or a chuckle or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, it's again a small, seemingly insignificant act that can really have a huge impact on one or multiple people. I
Exactly. Yeah.
cards, I want to transfer that to photos, like old
Yes.
photos. Like you said,
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't print off photos that much. They're stuck on our phone.
Do you
Yes.
know what I call this? There's two places that I believe that's one of the reasons why I send the cards I do is this is cell phone jail and Facebook jail.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody thinks, oh well, I put it, like thank
Yeah.
you. I'll say to a business, how did you say thank you? Oh well, I posted it on Facebook. Well, guess what? Once you post it, it's there one day, gone.
Yeah.
Nobody else sees
Yeah.
it ever
Yeah.
again,
If
right?
they do see it.
If they
Yeah.
see it at all,
Yeah.
if you're on their algorithm and you even saw it to begin with.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
then I said, but if you take that same picture and you put it on a card and you send it to
Mhm.
them, they have a keepsake,
Yeah. I love that.
which is beautiful, and it gets it out of I mean, you wouldn't believe how many cards I send to people that, they'll, and I, every morning, the first thing I do is I send a card of gratitude. So whoever comes to my mind, and I just sit there and
Mm.
then somebody comes to my mind and I send them a card. Well, that next thing I do is I go on Facebook, and I have to be honest, I stalk them. And I go on Facebook or I go on LinkedIn, and that person that I thought about, I look them up. And it's amazing. I mean, the universe is so lovely. I mean, so wonderful because something has happened. And it
Oh.
might be bad, it might be good, it might be indifferent, it might be whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
something that I pull up on their page means something to them.
Oh, wow.
And so I pull that picture and put it on a card and send it. Done.
And I have been the recipient of some of those. And
Thank you.
yeah, it's delightful to see one of your photos come back to you in some, in a physical form. So
Exactly.
yeah,
And
it's a
now what's beautiful is we can send digital. So what's fabulous is I can send a digital card because I've got people that I know in Costa Rica. They don't have a postal service.
mm,
Amazingly enough, I have somebody in the Philippines. They don't have a postal service.
wow.
Now I can send them digital cards, and literally the card comes. They look at it. It comes out of the envelope. It opens. You see it just like a card.
Cool.
It is the coolest thing that we've ever done. And the best part, I fought it for a while because digital to me is not tangible. It's
Right,
not
right,
that
right.
it's not that card you're touching. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this to me is so important to touch it and to
Mm,
have
yep,
that
yep,
and to
yep.
have that wonderful picture,
Yeah.
right? But what I found is that it's instant gratification. So when
Mm,
something happens, like you say you're in a restaurant or you're somewhere and you want to send something immediately, thank
mm.
you can do it. But the beauty is with our cards, you can click on that card and you can get and put your address in and get it mailed to you. So if you want that keepsake, you have that
Oh,
keepsake.
so you can get a physical copy
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
And I find it very ironic that a couple of those people you just referenced don't have postal service, but they have internet, digital, they can.
Well, see, the thing is with my digital, I can send it by text. I can send it by Facebook
Mm.
Messenger, LinkedIn Messenger, WhatsApp.
Oh, wow.
So I can send it any place, any way that digital can be sent. I can send the card.
That is awesome. So you
And
have
what's
multiple
awesome
ways.
about it is those people that have businesses in Costa Rica. I have 3 people that I know really, really well in Costa Rica that have businesses, and I've been sending them digital cards. They're all excited because now they can send thank you cards, real cards that are like they look like a real card to
Hmm.
any of their customers as a thank you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm so excited about it. I can't.
Yeah, I know. And we'll talk more about that
Yeah.
when we're done with our
Yeah.
episode here.
Yeah.
But I did see that. But I love that you send them a photo on a card, they stash it somewhere, and somebody like me, after like my parents passed, I
Yeah.
found all these old photos. Like I didn't always know who they were or where
Yes.
they were taken or what the date was, but it was so fun to see these. Like, oh
Hmm.
wow, look at what I found. Like they were stashed away in a desk
Love
drawer
it.
and random places. And I kind of feel sad that like my kids might not get that because I
Yeah.
don't take photos and print them anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
I did at one point when they were younger, I have photo albums and stuff, but
Yeah.
even my granddaughters, I have two
Yeah.
granddaughters, even the younger one had the awareness to realize that there's not that many pictures of her that were printed because
Yeah.
she was the second child. You
Oh
know how that
yeah.
goes. As the sibling order, they increase, then there's less and less photos. But she even realized that.
Yeah.
So even if you don't make it part of a card that you
Yeah.
send, just think about printing some of those off every once in a while so that
Right.
somebody down the road will get the thrill of finding it somewhere.
Well, I send them to myself, and I'm going to be honest.
Oh,
Our cards are 5 by 7 for a reason because if you buy a standard frame is 5x7.
Nice.
These also have a UV protection on them, so you don't have to buy the special glass.
Oh, real nice.
So the beauty of that is you can, I tell people to take the cards and literally split them
Mm.
and frame. Now this card, I had this out for a reason. This card, I don't send Christmas cards. I haven't for years. Because when I was in business, a Christmas card, people never got it. It stayed with the receptionist who got to decorate
Oh,
her
oh.
space for the first time ever, like one time a year. So I always sent New Year's cards, but the year my husband passed, I sent Christmas because he passed a week before Thanksgiving. I didn't think I could do New Year's. By New Year's,
Oh.
I thought I didn't know where my brain would be at. And
Yeah, I
Christmas, I
bet.
thought I can do it. So this was the Christmas card that I sent. And inside, I did a collage of my
Mm.
husband and I. Now, this is our puppy dog. And this was Tess. She passed away that spring. She was
Mm.
18.
Oh, wow.
So she passed away in the spring. My husband passed away in the fall. So this was my kind of year of, I called it my year of gratitude, actually, full of
Mm.
gratitude.
Oh.
And I sent this to, I can't tell you how many people I sent it to. Anyway, when I was up in Canada doing my celebration of life for my husband in Canada, that next spring, everybody had this on the refrigerator. They had
Mm.
split the card. And I'm
Okay.
like, oh, okay. And of course, by that time I was more calmed down and
Mm-hmm.
my
Yeah,
brain was
yeah,
working.
right.
And I finally said to a couple of them, why did you do that? And you know what they said? Grace, you don't understand. I'm not on Facebook.
Mm.
I don't live in the United States. I've
Mm.
never seen any of these pictures.
Oh.
Wow. I just
Mm-hmm.
and I mean literally 8 years ago it was like somebody slapped me because I went, "Oh my." Because a lot of my family does not go on Facebook. It's
Mm-hmm.
not something they do. They're not
Yeah,
into it, and
yeah.
that's fine. But you don't realize that that can be a keepsake.
Right, right. Again, I mean, it took some effort for you to do that and put it together and send it
Yeah.
out. But still, if people are saving it on their refrigerator, then
Yeah.
it definitely means and meant something to them.
Exactly.
And it's
Yes.
like the gift that keeps on giving,
Yeah.
just again and again and
Exactly.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I mean, just having a keepsake, my cards are keepsakes, and I love that. I mean, I've gone into so many places, businesses where they're hanging somewhere. They're on somebody's cubicle or they're
Hmm.
on
Oh,
somebody's
that's cool.
refrigerator.
Yeah, that's it. And so you're bringing so much joy to the world. It's like I said, it sounds like a very simple thing. And
Mm-hmm.
most people might overlook a card, like, "Oh, I got to go get a card or whatever."
Yep.
But like, I know there's a couple older ladies that I send cards to
Yeah.
periodically, and I know that it brings them some joy, even if it's for a few moments,
Right.
and that's so I appreciate and I enjoy that, and I know what it's like on
Yeah.
both ends to give and to
Yeah.
receive. And
But you know what? For those ladies that you send them to sporadically, I'm going to tell you something, and I don't want you to do it. But if you forgot to send them a card, you'd hear about it.
maybe, I don't
You
know,
would. Yeah. Because
but
most people don't say thank you for getting it
right, right. Yeah,
because you don't expect it. But
right.
if they don't get it, I mean, I missed a couple birthdays last year. I felt so bad. I mean, I literally ran into these people and they went, oh, so you're not doing your job anymore, huh? And I went, what? I never knew they appreciated the card in the first place.
Right. So even when you do get a card, it's nice to just acknowledge it the next time
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
see that person. But I do want to ask you, what were you doing prior to the whole card business? You're obviously a grateful person. You obviously were polite and kind and respectful. But what did you do prior to, like, your previous life, your career, your job? Like, what kind of things did you do?
Well, my background is interior design. So that was what I
Oh,
was
very
educated
good.
to do.
Okay.
And when I graduated from interior design, it was so many years ago, we won't even go into how many years, but it was a long time ago. and it was before computers. So
Mm,
CAD did not exist. So when
mm,
you were an interior designer, you drafted. I mean, drafting was what you did. I
mm-hmm,
did not want to do residential design. I only wanted to do commercial because that was kind of my love.
mm-hmm.
Anyway, and I got told by an interior design owner of a company that, well, just expect to stay behind a drafting board for 3 years. You probably will never meet a client because as a junior designer, that's what you do. You stay behind a
Mm-hmm.
drafting board and you
Mm-hmm.
design and you do worksheets and
Mm-hmm.
spreadsheets and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay, fine. So I decided that I want to do that. I liked people too much. So
Mm-hmm.
I ended up completely on a fluke at an open house, met a man who owned a business and said to me, "You ever want a job, girl? You got it." I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh, thank you." He said, "Here's my card." He said, "I would hire you in a heartbeat." I said, "Well, thank you." Well, 2 years later, I found out that they were hiring, and it was a sales rep job selling to interior designers. And yeah, and I filled out the resume and found out that the resume went to corporate. And this is when I lived in Canada and I was living in Calgary and Toronto was corporate. And it went to corporate, and the head of sales said, "Why is her name familiar?"
Mm-hmm.
And walked into the owner of the company and said, "I got this resume and I don't know why her name is familiar." And he looked down and said, "Hire her."
So
And
who
that's
was
how
the
I.
guy that you had met? The
Mhm.
first
Yeah,
guy
and he
or
just said, "Hire her. That's the girl that I met. I was
oh,
telling you
that
about."
was him then. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
wow,
And
that's
I went,
awesome.
"Wow." Anyway, so that's how I got my first job in
Well, and
sales.
they didn't even know your skill set, did they? Did they know? No, it was just based
They
on
knew I
your
was an interior
energy.
designer.
Well,
They knew
yeah, but you
my,
were in
yeah,
that world.
yeah,
That's how you met
yeah,
him because you were in that
yeah.
that environment. But there's
But he didn't
another
have a clue.
well, and there's another example of energy.
Yeah,
Energy.
yep,
You
yep,
gave off this energy that he really connected in with and resonated with.
yep.
And then it led to a job down the
I know.
road.
And I worked for them for like quite a few years.
Oh, I love stories like that.
But then when
Absolutely
I
love
moved down to the
those.
States, my husband was transferred down here. And when we moved to the States, I actually got introduced to the cards many years ago, like 15 years ago. And as soon as I was introduced to it, I was sitting there thinking about it and I'm going, oh, and I felt this tap on my shoulder and I looked at my girlfriend and I said, "What?" And she said, "What?" Okay. And I'm listening again and I feel this again. And it was my mother. I knew it was my
Oh,
mom.
wow.
And she was like, "Hey, you got no reason
Mm,
not to sign
mm,
up for this because you can." Because I had stopped writing thank you cards. I had stopped
mm.
doing Christmas cards. I mean, I'd stopped doing everything I was taught. And I think a part of it had to do with my mom passing. And
Oh,
you kind of fight things
yeah,
in your
yeah.
mind. And I had no excuse. I could sit at a computer and type it up. I mean, I didn't have to buy anything. I didn't have
Mm-hmm,
to go get
mm-hmm.
stamps. So I started using it for my business. And I literally increased my sales at like 65%.
Wow.
And it was all because I was a star. I was literally the poster child for thank you. I would go in and do presentations in designer and architects' offices, and the first 10 minutes were hugs. Thank you for the thank you card. Thank you for the birthday card. Thank you for the da 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 da. And I did something that nobody had ever done, and I hope everybody does it now. And I'm going to open it up so everybody does do it. And that is on LinkedIn, you see the anniversary
Mm-hmm,
of somebody
mm-hmm.
working.
Yep.
Who sends anniversary cards? Most of the businesses don't even celebrate their anniversary. I sent
I was
happy
say,
anniversary
I
cards to
know you
everybody.
do. Mm-hmm. Again, it's a minor act, seemingly
Yeah,
minor act,
yep,
but look at how impactful that is for everybody who's thanking you for the cards that you sent
yep,
them.
yep.
And
It was like fabulous.
it's that little connection in a
Mm-hmm.
world that is so distracting, so busy, so, you know,
Well,
filled with
I think
all. Go
the
ahead.
one thing that I've been taught in life, and that is in this world right now, we're spending so much time. And Cody Bateman gave me this quote, and I think it's fabulous. And that is, we spend so much time in our life right now worrying about the differences in people
Mm.
instead of remembering how similar we all are.
Mm.
And
Mm.
that's where we need to be. We need to remember how similar we are. No,
Mm-hmm.
celebrate our differences. Yes, please celebrate our differences. Never ever give that up. But remember, we're one race, the human race. We're all
Mm-hmm.
similar. You know, as my mother used to say, one of her motherisms was, you know, when we get up, we all put our pants on one leg at a time.
I know, and I appreciate you saying that because I advocate for, knowing our unique superpowers, our
Yes,
uniqueness, which, but again, they're all based on similarities, even
yes,
though we are different, me and you are
yes,
different, but we still have similarities. We still want to be healthy. We still want to love,
yeah,
and get love back. We still want to, be comfortable, whatever. We can list out a whole
right.
bunch of them. But
But the
you're
similarities are not just, it's love, gratitude, trust,
right, 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 right.
integrity. All of those similarities make us who we are, and our
Exactly.
uniqueness is how we show who we are.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Love that. Love that. I love and
Yeah.
admire and respect what you do out there in the world. Again, simple yet effective, very impactful, uplifting to so many people. Um, I do want to circle back around to your motherisms, though. Can you share a few of those with me? Because I love that word, that
Yeah.
phrase.
Yeah. I wanted to call it mumisms, but I didn't think the Americans would get it.
Mhm.
So it is motherisms. Yeah. My mom was very profound, and she taught me a lot of very unique but wonderful things. And a lot of her motherisms were things that everybody's heard before, but my mother had her own uniqueness in her
There we
motherisms.
go, just like we were talking.
Yeah. And, you know, like, I mean, we all have the, you know, my favorite is, you know, always make sure you're wearing clean underwear in case you get into an accident. Well, my grandmother added to that was always make sure you wear clean underwear with no holes in them. And I think it's because she, you know, she was there during the Depression. So, I mean, I think that's where it came from. I don't know. You know, don't air your dirty laundry in public. You know, those are all motherisms that we remember. But my mom had some of them that one of my favorites, and this is what got me through my husband passing, and got me, because you know you've asked me about motherisms because I'm writing a book on motherisms, and it
Hmm.
got me into writing the book because I heard her voice through the
Mm,
whole passing of my husband and what I had to
mm,
get through. And one of the things that I kept hearing was this one, and that was, when somebody you love, someone you care about, says or does something maybe not so nice, walk away, because you do not know where their heart or their
mhm,
mind or their soul was at that moment. It's if someone you barely know says or does something maybe not so nice, walk away, because they're not worth your time anyway.
mhm. Yep.
And I realized that part of me getting through my husband's passing was that it wasn't about me. You know, when somebody passes away, you tend to get, and my mother always said, leave your ego at the door, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I became very self centered because it was
Yeah.
my husband had passed away. I'm now
Mhm,
alone, blah, 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 blah,
mhm,
blah, blah.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
everything that I had been taught, I completely forgot. And nobody's paying attention to me. Oh, woe is me.
Mm,
And then all of a sudden, I kept thinking, why am I so hurt? Well, I'm not hurt. It's not about me. Guess what? When my husband passed away, they lost a brother. They
mhm,
lost an uncle.
mhm.
They lost a friend.
Yeah.
They lost somebody as well. Although losing is not a good word. I can't,
Well,
loss
we.
is not something that I use when it comes to passing, because
Mhm,
when you lose something, you can find it again. So losing
mhm.
is not a good, but
Yeah. Yeah.
when they pass. And
Mhm,
so my mother's voice kept coming, and all of a sudden I started going, whoa, it's not about me. It's about the fact of survival past the
mhm.
passing.
And creating a new
and
path and a
creating a
new
new, yep,
future and
yep,
maybe a new identity, a new
yes.
story.
Yes. And
Yeah.
my mother, another one of my mom's motherisms, and it's a long one, and so I'm not going to do it, but was learning to live in the moment.
Yeah.
You can't control the past, you can't control the future. You've only got now, like
Mm,
right now, this moment. And so
hmm
if you live the best you can now, and so that really got me through it as well. But never forget the past, because the past is going to be there, and the past is something you've learned from and you
hmm
love from, and everything that you come from.
And made you who you are now. Yeah.
That's right. So,
hmm
but make sure that you make the best of you now.
Mm. And we tend to, in our society, yeah, either cling to the past, bring the past forward, talk about the past, or our brains all up in the future. Well, what am I going to do here? Like, what's going to happen?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I need to know, I need to know.
Yeah.
So again, a simple idea, come back to the moment and make your decisions and your choices from this moment. And it's a practice, just like
Yeah.
everything else we've
Oh,
talked about. It's
exactly.
a
Yeah.
practice because it's so easy to get distracted and off the rails.
Yeah.
To come
Well,
back
and the
into the
one thing she
moment is
taught me was
huge.
that if you live in the moment, if you try to live in the past, the what ifs may not ever come.
Yeah.
But if you live in the moment and you make the best of your time now, when the future comes, you're going to be pleasantly pleased,
Yes, yes. You'll have
because you're
no
going to
regret.
manifest who
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah. Love that. And that's a
Yeah.
whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
do have to wrap this up. I said, I so admire and appreciate you. And I thank you for being here. And if somebody listening wants to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Well, the best way is by probably email. And my email is my name, which is Grace Strawn, and it's spelled, I know, I answer to any of the above, Strachan, whatever, but it's Strachan. And then 2014, which was the year I finally got a Gmail account at gmail.com. Actually, I couldn't do just Grace Strawn. There was already one with a Gmail
Really?
account.
Wow.
So I had to do the year I got it at gmail.com.
Who would
And
have
that's
thought?
pretty well the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay, and we'll put that in the description
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
episode.
And you
So,
can also put my phone number. I mean, people text me all the time. I have no qualms about that.
okay, well, I'll get
Yeah.
that from you. We'll definitely
Yeah.
put that
Yeah.
info in so anybody can get a hold of you. I know you're on Facebook, do lots of awesome, inspiring posts on Facebook, so they can also look you up there and follow you and see what you're sharing every day.
I hope I keep people inspired.
Oh, you
You
certainly
know,
inspire me, that's for
oh,
sure.
well, thank you. You inspire me. I
Oh,
mean, I get to giggle once a month.
oh. Yes, that is so, and I so appreciate you coming. And we that's a whole nother conversation in and of
Yeah.
itself. But
If we
I
can't laugh, I one thing that's another one of my mom's motherisms. If you can't learn to laugh at yourself, you got to learn to laugh at yourself first, because
yeah.
guess what? You're probably the funniest person on the earth.
Yeah, and each of us is funny in our own way, that's for
Yes,
sure.
exactly.
Oh my gosh, I have loved every moment of this conversation. I want to
Thank you
thank
so
you from the
much.
bottom of my heart to be here with us today. So thank you so much. I'm inviting everybody to go follow Grace on Facebook, see her posts, save them, be inspired, check her out, connect with her if you want to hear more about her cards. And if you like this episode and you know somebody who can benefit from it, please share it. And I'm going to ask you to subscribe, like, leave a comment, all the stuff, all the things. And we so appreciate you again, Grace. Thank you personally. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. And we will see you the next time on another episode of Evolving Women. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you, Grace. Bye bye.
Bye.